So, whistle while you work.
Disney just dropped the first teaser for its live-action Snow White, but instead of casting a spell, it ignited an internet firestorm that's burning hotter than ever. Starring Rachel Zegler as the fairest of them all, and Gal Gadot as the wickedly glamorous evil queen. The trailer was meant to be a magical moment at Disney's D23 Expo, with all the glitz and glamour of a Hollywood premiere. Fans were expecting to be enchanted. Zegler looked every bit the princess, serenading us with Whistle While You Work, while Gadot oozed villainous charm, demanding, "Who's the fairest of them all?"
Who's the fairest one of all?
But just when it seemed like Disney was set for another fairy tale triumph, the 7 CGI dwarfs appeared and Rachel dropped a bombshell. They were changing the story completely. The internet collectively lost its mind, and the backlash was fierce. Instead of basking in Disney magic, Zegler found herself at the center of an online disaster that only got messier. Flash forward to D23 2024, when Zegler took center stage to unveil her reimagined Snow White, hoping to win over critics. But instead of fairy dust, she was hit with a social media storm. The trailer, featuring Gadot as the gloriously wicked evil queen and those infamous CGI dwarfs, left fans feeling more May than magic. And just like that, the haters came out in full force. But things took a darker turn when one troll took it too far, saying someone should end Zegler's life. Twitter quickly removed the post, but not before Zegler saw it. And oh boy, did she clap back. Her response? Pure Broadway-level sass. Fun fact, I'll be dying 8 times a week on Broadway this fall. Get your tickets, Lee. Oh, and did. We mentioned she'll star alongside Heartstopper heartthrob Kit Connor in the upcoming Romeo and Juliet revival. Zegler's fans rallied behind their queen, flooding her feed with support, while others continued to throw shade. It's clear Zegler had all the support she needed, even as critics kept firing at her. But the truth is, Zegler's backlash isn't anything new. It's a response that's built up over time, with some even calling her attitude insufferable.
You don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed.
When Disney announced in 2021 that Rachel Zegler would be donning the crown as Snow White, you could practically hear the internet gasp. But instead of celebrating this fresh take on a classic, some people went full troll mode, throwing shade at Zegler's casting for not being white enough to play a princess with skin as white as snow. Apparently, in 2021, a little diversity in fairy tales is still too much for some to handle. The online uproar was as ugly as the evil queen's jealousy, with critics focusing on Zegler's Polish-Colombian heritage rather than her talent. They questioned why a Latina actress should dare play a role locked in the Disney vault since 1937. But Zegler, proving she was every bit the princess Disney believed in, didn't let the trolls rain on her parade. Instead, she took to X, formerly Twitter, with grace and sass, writing, "I really truly do not want to see it," alongside throwback pictures of herself as a little girl dressed as a princess. Turns out, she's been slaying the royal game since day one. And in her final mic drop, Zegler added that she hoped every child out there would believe they could be a princess if they wanted to be. While this claim seemed sweet to many, some were still not having it, with many calling Zegler's version of Snow White too woke, especially after she said the idea of being saved by Prince Charming was too old-fashioned.
Just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
Gone was the damsel in distress waiting for her prince to show up with a kiss. Instead, this Snow White is all about setting her own terms, wielding power, and dreaming of leadership, not true love.
The fact that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one, and she's the one who set the terms, is what makes it so relevant.
But Zegler didn't stop there. She became a full feminist icon, emphasizing that this new Snow White is about embracing a woman's power in the modern world.
Cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
Now, if you thought the evil queen's jealousy was fierce, it's nothing compared to the backlash that followed. Social media erupted with cries of "too woke," while anti-woke accounts and conservative media outlets like the Daily Wire sharpened their pitchforks. They even announced plans to produce their own version of Snow White, promising a story more in line with the values in which it was originally written. While critics fumed, Zegler and Godot stood their ground, unbothered and unapologetic. After all, they weren't just reimagining a classic, they were rewriting the rules. But no matter how much they tried to power through, the drama surrounding Disney's new Snow White kept getting hotter. Recently, everything reached a fever pitch after Rachel let slip that she thinks Prince Charming was a creepy stalker, and hinted that his scenes could be axed altogether. Clip 7.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
User Ruben Woodall racked up over 1.3 million likes after blasting Disney for trying to turn Snow White into a girl boss. According to Woodall, the whole point of Snow White isn't about leadership or feminism. He questioned why every reimagining of a classic has to have the woman in a position of power, or it's not considered feminist. He wasn't alone. David Hand, the son of the original 1937 animation's director, couldn't resist chiming in. In a scathing interview with the Daily Telegraph, Hand called Disney's reboot a disgrace and accused the studio of showing no respect for the classic his father helped create. But one of the biggest voices in the controversy came from Peter Dinklage. The Game of Thrones star didn't hold back in slamming Disney's live-action remake for its outdated portrayal of dwarfs.
There appears to be a sizable problem. Where are the dwarfs?
These are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles.
Dinklage's words sent shockwaves through Hollywood, prompting Disney to issue a statement in hopes of calming the storm. The studio announced it would be taking a different approach with the 7 characters, aiming to avoid reinforcing the stereotypes from the original 1937 animated film. But let's be real. Disney's got its work cut out for them. With backlash coming from all sides, the studio found itself caught between modernizing a beloved classic and navigating the minefield of representation in 2024. Whether this new approach will win over critics like Dinklage or dig them deeper into controversy remains to be seen. One thing's for sure. This remake is already filled with more drama than any fairy tale ever needed. So, what do you think of Rachel Zegler's fiery response after the Snow White trailer dropped? And what's your take on her version of the story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to know what Brett Cooper has to say about her version of Snow White, check out the next video you need to watch.